Okay, so Emily, this is our lesson for today. We are now on lesson number 46, right?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
And our topic today is, can you help me read this?
The worst cholera,
Cholera.
cholera epidemic in Yemen.
Very good.
What
The
is
worst
this?
cholera epidemic in Yemen.
Okay, I found this book. Actually, they talk about the business journey and talk. Actually, they all talk about politics.
Oh, is that so? Okay.
Yeah, all the lessons is about politics.
Okay, so yeah, I can see that the topic should be about business, but on your previous lesson, you noticed that it talks about the politics, right? Okay, well, I think you should you can check other lessons if you want to change with our customer service later
Okay,
on.
it's okay. I
Uh,
just
all right,
I
Emily.
just
So,
don't know what's the topic. I'm so
uh,
curious about the topic.
oh, it's so serious for you.
Yeah, yeah, very serious.
Okay, so let's start our lesson. Our part one is reading a passage. So we will read this
Hmm,
passage and then later on we will discuss those words that are written in color orange, what they mean, and how we can use them in a sentence. Okay?
okay.
Very good. Let's start reading the first paragraph.
An ongoing epidemic of cholera, right? A
Yes, cholera.
deadly burn, waterborne disease has swept war-torn Yemen since its outbreak in April. The disease has killed more than 2,000 people and infected half a million in just 3 months.
All right. Thank
Yemen
you.
has
Yep, so let's continue. Let's read the second paragraph.
Yemen has been under civil war since 2015. According to the World Health Organization, Yemen's cholera epidemic has spread rapidly due to deteriorate,
Deteriorating.
deteriorating conditions of sanitation and disruptions to the water supply across the country. What's more, aid groups in Yemen has to pull resources from the fight against malnutrition to battle the cholera outbreak, which raises the risk of famine. Famine.
Famine.
Famine or
Yes, very good.
famine.
Thank you, Emily. Let's read the third paragraph.
It is feared that the total number of cholera-infected could rise
Cases.
to six cases. Infected cases could rise to 600,000, making it one of the worst outbreaks since records started in 1949. The previous annual record was in Haiti in 2011 when 311 cases were
Recorded.
recorded, recorded.
All right, very good. Thank you for reading that, Emily. So let's go ahead and study those words that are written in color orange. Those are our vocabulary words, okay?
Yes.
All right, so let's start with our first word. Our first word here is cholera.
Cholera, a disease caused from infected water that causes
Severe.
vomiting, severe vomiting, and often causes death.
Okay, so
Cholera.
it says here that cholera is what you call a disease caught from infected water, which causes severe vomiting and often causes death. So this is kind of a disease wherein you get it from bacteria, especially on water which are infected by bacteria. Sometimes, let's say it's raining and there's a flood, people get this kind of disease because let's say they walk on the rain or they walk through a flood. Okay.
Yes.
All right, very good. Now, have you seen someone with this kind of disease, Emily?
Mm, I haven't. I've watched some movies. The Hollywood movies are talking about the cholera.
Mm,
What happened in the like 1920 or 30s? Yes, the whole Europe and the US, which
okay.
happened the cholera.
All
So
right.
like yeah,
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Emily. Now, our next word is waterborne.
waterborne, waterborne.
Yes. What is waterborne?
Spread or carried by water.
Okay,
Mm.
so waterborne means spread or carried by water. So we can say cholera is a waterborne disease because it is spread or carried by water, right?
Mm. Yes,
Very good. Let's move on to our next word, deteriorate. Can you say that?
deteriorate, deteriorate,
Okay, what does deteriorate means?
deteriorate means to become worse. More serious, worse.
Okay, yes. So it means to become worse or to become more serious. Now, Emily, can you use deteriorate in a sentence?
Uh, the disease is the disease become deteriorates day by day, and the doctor couldn't find the solution for it.
Okay, that's a very good example. Thank you, Emily. Let's proceed with our next word, sanitation. What does
Sanitation,
sanitation means?
the equipment and system that keep places clean, especially by removing waste.
Okay, very good. So sanitation is the equipment and systems that keep places clean, especially by removing waste. This sanitation helps our surrounding to become clean. Sometimes government um, also provides some people to keep sanitation within a community. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Any questions so far, Emily?
So far so good.
All right, thank you. Next word is malnutrition. What does malnutrition means?
Malnutrition means a poor condition of health caused by a lack of food or the right type of food.
Okay, so it is a poor condition of health caused by lack of food or the right type of food. Sometimes this happens to people who's living in the street. Some of the people who lives in the street are suffering from malnutrition. That's why they are thin because they lack food for themselves. Okay? Very good. Can you use malnutrition in a sentence?
The kids in the poor areas always have face malnutrition problems because there are lack of food.
All right, very good. That's a good example. Thank you for giving that, Emily. And we're down to our last word, famine. What
For
does
me,
famine means.
A lack of food. Famine. A lack of food during a long period of time in a region. Famine.
Okay, very good. So famine means a lack of food during a long period of time in a region. Sometimes when there are some difficult situation, let's say there are flood and it has been raining for a couple of days, sometimes a community suffer from, or they are facing famine in their community. Since it is raining, they can't go out to get food, and the stocks are also not being produced, right?
Mm.
Very good. Now let's use famine in a sentence.
Famine. Mm, in the west area of China, uh, it has been facing the problem of famine in 1970s. Um, in that kind of time, China is uh, China is really poor, and the economy in China is deep down. So all the countries are lack of food and without money.
All right, that's a very good example. Thank you for giving that, Emily. You did a very good job. Do you have any question about these expressions that we learned today? Any question or clarification that you want to ask?
uh, lack of food during a long period of time. I'm all good.
All right, thank
Thank you.
you. So let's proceed with the next part of our lesson. This is the discussion. I will ask you some questions and let's try to use the words that we learned earlier when we answer these questions, okay?
Okay.
All right, very good. According to the passage, Emily, why is the cholera epidemic in Yemen spreading so quickly?
Because this cholera uh, mm, is mm, is referred to water, right?
Yes.
So people drink water will have well affected by this kind of disease.
Okay, very good. And because it says on the passage, cholera is a waterborne um, disease. So we
Water
get this
disease.
by the water that we drink, water that we use when cooking our food. Okay?
Yeah. Mm.
Very good. Now, say an outbreak of infectious disease that you remember. When was that? What was the disease? How did it influence people's life? And what did the government do to control it?
Oh, I remember there was a very very big disease spread in China that is in 2000 and around 2012,
Mm-hmm.
I believe. Yeah. Um, that's called SARS. The name
SARS.
is SARS.
Yes.
Yeah, the bird flu disease. So a lot of people are were affected by the disease, and uh, like thousands of people died due to it. It was a tragedy for China in that year. Um, how did it influence people's life? Because people can easily be affected by other people just by uh, touch hands or
Yeah, touching each other.
uh, yeah, touch each other or they eat the same food. So when you have this kind of disease, you have to stay in the hospital or stay at home, cannot go anywhere. So um, the
So
whole
if people are
country is
being
like,
isolated.
yeah, isolated, and the people, the whole country like in a panic.
Okay.
The citizens in our country all panic about the disease because so many people died. So
Mm.
yeah. So what did the government do to control it? Finally, they found a how to say that, a medicine who can which can kill the disease after like several weeks.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So um, and also the government do a lot of take a lot of actions to avoid all the uh, all the patients can treat well, uh, and they are being good taken care of by the hospital staffs.
Okay.
So mm, after like 1 or 2 months, the situation is totally under control. Mm, that was the one of the infection disease
Infectious
I
disease.
remembered. Yeah, infectious disease I remembered in China.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Emily. It seems like it's very alarming to have that kind of outbreak or that infectious disease in a country. I believe way back in our country, we also heard about that news, and it also alarmed the people in our country because there are some news saying that other countries are infected too. They might come to your country or other country and they might infect other people as well, right?
Mm, yes,
Okay, but the good thing is that you said that the government managed to control
yes,
what's happening.
yes.
Okay, very good. So next question: compared which compared with rich countries, poor countries are more
Mm,
vulnerable to epidemics and will suffer more from outbreaks. Do you agree with this argument and why?
yes, I kindly agree with this because in poor countries there are lack of money to make the good facilities, the medicine facilities, and also lack of good doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so all the like that's a package. In rich countries, you've got nice hospitals and real talented doctors. Mm, so many staffs
Mm-hmm.
can like cover all the patients, but in poor countries, a lot of things can like lack of. There are lack of good doctors, nice facilities, and the people can take care of the helpers sometimes. Yeah, so I believe so. Poor countries are more vulnerable
Okay,
to
very good.
epidemic. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that. And somehow you have a good point that poor countries are more vulnerable to this kind of diseases because, as you said, they don't have enough funds to cover the doctor fee, the staffs, and the medicine. So, yes, you have a very
Yeah.
good point in that situation. So,
Yeah.
we do have a further reading here. Can we please read this one?
Cholera is an infectious disease caused by a bacterium and infects the small intest- intestine.
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 Yes.
It is called pandem- pandemic. Pandemic. Pandemic today found most
Pandemic.
commonly pandemic.
Yes.
Pandemic. Today found most commonly in developing countries, especially in children. The most common symptoms are serious diar-
Diarrhea.
diarrhea. diarrhea, and vomiting, which usually start suddenly. If affected people get good and quick medical treatment, less than 1% would die from the disease. In developed countries, well, sanitation is good, and the government add chemicals to water to kill bacteria. Chlorine is rarely seen.
Okay, so Emily, do you know what are the common symptoms of cholera, or how will you notice that you might have a cholera?
The most common symptoms are seriously diarrhea and vomiting,
Okay.
which usually start suddenly.
All right. So if you're having diarrhea, if you tend to go to the comfort room more than the usual number of you going to the comfort room, and if you are vomiting, you might consider getting checked by a doctor because you might have a cholera. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So can you tell me what have you learned in this lesson?
What I've learned is that the cholera, which happened in Yemen, it is referred to the water infections, right? So, um, so many people died due to this kind of like cholera.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, yeah. Oh, it is a chaos for the country. It's a
Yes.
real sad. Yeah. So, mm, what else?
Okay, of course,
I
we've
really
learned
can't
some new words today, such as cholera, famine,
the
deteriorating.
deteriorating. Yeah,
Yes, so
deteriorating.
we've learned a lot of new words today. Okay, so I think that's it for our lesson today. Emily, do you have any question for me?
Thank you. I had a really nice time.
Well, I had a really nice time as well, and you did a very good job in this lesson. I can say that you can share your thoughts and ideas in English very good. You can pronounce the
Mhm.
words very good as well. And let's just keep on practicing, improve what we can do right now, continue on reading English books, and learn more new words in each of your lesson. Okay?
Okay.
All
Thank you for
right.
your advice.
Emily, thank you for having class with me, and I hope to see you again in my future classes. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. Goodbye.
Have a nice day. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.